All Hallows Eve, the evening your nightmares come to life, all the creatures of the night come out to play. It's time to pay tribute to this terrifying month, so join us as we celebrate the sinister season. This is the Venom month of horrors.
Hello and welcome to the Venom month of horrors. 31 days of pure terror in video form. And this month, we've spoke a lot about Stephen King. So let's do one more.
There are films of his I like, honest, I've even reviewed them, but he pops up so often because he's frequently known for having amazing setups with awful deliveries, and what better example than his TV miniseries? It sucked. I mean, he had no involvement with it, but it sucked. The Shining sucked. He wrote it, and it sucked.
And today is no different. Storm of the Century, he wrote it, and it sucks.
Isn't that sweet?
What a wasted opportunity. A 4.5-hour mini-series with a premise that practically sells itself, and yet here we are discussing just how much of a disappointment it really is. This is actually King's favourite TV special of his own, but when you compare it to his others, is there really much competition? A mini-series not well known, but at the time was well received by critics, but quickly left in the shadows.
And now it's time to shed some light on it and see just why it sucks. We've got 4.5 hours to get through, so this is Stephen King's Storm of the Century.
So my God in heaven, why?
So we open with a narration explaining that on this island, every certain amount of time or so, they never really specify, a huge blizzard hits their quiet little town and they're preparing for it.
I grew up in Maine.
Shocker.
Radio says it's gonna snow a bit.
Easy, Ferg. It's just a cap of snow.
Yes, just a little bit of snow. That's why it's called Storm of the Goddamn Century.
I'd be careful if I was you.
So this old lady gets a knock at her door and slowly rushes over to answer the impatient perpetrator.
Oh, hold on. I'm getting there as fast as I can.
I wish the credits would.
Can I help you?
Born in lust, turned to dust.
I beg your pardon.
Born in sin. Come on in.
To be honest, this is actually a really strong and creepy introduction to this character. He murders the old lady, begins singing about being a little teapot, and it's actually bone-chilling. We don't see his face, it has nice build-up, but the biggest travesty? He drinks her tea!
The bastard!
He talks a lot of nonsense.
So we cut to the local shop where everyone is stocking up for the big storm. We also meet the narrator, Mike, played by Tim Daly, the town constable. He gets a panicking phone call about some girl whose head is stuck in the stair railing at daycare and they need his help before... We also see that annoying little lisp kid who was in everything for a while.
Hey, look, you guys, I'm a monkey.
Seriously, how did he keep on getting work when he's about as funny as the telephone?
I think anyone from my part of the world would say the same.
Anyway, he arrives and... that was it? Wow, they actually needed to interrupt the constable and waste his time to come all the way down to do that? I mean, there was no conflict. She wasn't even stuck. She just popped her head back out fine. Yeah, I think I pretty much shut that daycare down, mate. Anyway, back at the old lady's house, the man shows his face and he's one of the black-eyed children. That explains a lot.
I don't think so.
So a local kid notices the lady's walker outside with the door open and heads in to take a look. This is actually quite eerie and he even gets spoken to by the man who somehow knows the kid's name and history before using telekinesis to smash the TV with his basketball.
So he's a black-eyed child with telekinesis.
The kid rushes through town for help before a man checks out the scene, finds the lady's corpse, but then we see something far more frightening. A Stephen King cameo!
Thought it might not be a bad idea.
The weird dude starts reciting random facts about the guy's personal life as well, and I have to admit, it's actually really well done.
You were with a whore in Boston when your mother died in Machias. Ma was in that crappy old nursing home they tore down last fall. The one where they found the rats in the pantry, right? She choked to death calling your name.
The actor Colm Feore is fantastic, and I'm really intrigued to see where they go with this, because Stephen King never lets his audience down.
That's all right, Robbie. She's waiting for you in hell, and she's turned cannibal. When you get there, she's going to eat you alive.
Jesus, that's savage.
Over and over and over again. Because that's what hell is all about, Robbie. Repetition.
Like most of Stephen King's work.
It's true.
So Mike is informed and heads to the house himself, while the public linger around outside trying to see what's going on. You know, I have to wonder why every single person who's walked in so far has completely gone past the room the dude is actually in. I mean, I know the lady's corpse is straight down the hall, but surely you'd go to the sound of the TV to investigate, and they've all missed it.
How?
Anyway, they arrest a guy who surprisingly remains completely calm and obliges to the arrest without question. It's actually really, really creepy.
Robbie, what happened to Martha?
Why did you say that name?
If he moves, shoot him.
If he shoots, he'll get us both. That thing's still loaded with buckshot. Also, he's still got the safety on.
Wow, maybe this film won't be as bad as I thought. I mean, this is actually quite eerie.
What's your name?
Andre Linoge.
So they take Linoge to lock him up, but they have a few questions already.
When we were in the hall, I heard the TV on, did you?
At first, yeah, the weather. Then the guy must have... It was busted.
Yeah, that's what they're questioning right now. Not the fact that he knows everything, but about that goddamn TV. So he's a black-eyed vampire with telekinesis. And can read minds and go out in daylight.
Give me what I want and I'll go away.
What is it you want?
Ah yes, I should mention, this is the entire message of the movie, and just in case you forget, they will mention it over and over and over just to drill it inside your fucking head.
Which, again, is intriguing at first, but when you sit here for 4 hours hearing it over and over, it gets boring very quickly. No, actually, it gets boring very slowly because you sit here for 4 goddamn hours. Just get to the point already and stop being scary 3 fucking hours ago.
That doesn't really surprise me.
So they try to take him through the back of the jail, but the doors are playing up, forcing them to take Linoge through the store and past all of the customers. Again, this is really creepy. He reveals stories about people to freak them out, and it's eerie as hell.
Peter Gozzo, my favorite seafood wholesaler, standing shoulder to shoulder with my favorite politician. How's the fish business? Not so good, is it? Lucky you've got the marijuana business to fall back on. Cat Withers, you're looking well, and why not? It's just an in-office procedure these days, nothing to it. I don't suppose you've told your folks about it yet, or Billy.
So he ends up grabbing Mike's son Ralphie, even kissing him before letting him go. They proceed to take him to...
What do you know about Katrina?
I will get more screen time! Oh, no I won't.
Before he gets too self-righteous, Katrina, ask him how well he knows Jenna Freeman.
What do you know about my sister?
That horses aren't all she enjoys riding when the weather's hot. Right, Billy?
Mike lets his emotions get the better of him after the incident with his son, but Linoge just sits there emotionless staring. He has no wallet, no bank card, no identity at all. I mean, honestly, the actor I can't praise enough, and he gives such a chilling presence.
I should say you could count on that.
So they get him locked up before Mike closes the store and has his guys take turns watching over the murderer. They try to radio for more officers, but the storm prevents this, and this is a huge issue I have with this film. The plot is just so convoluted. You don't need the storm, it's not needed. You have 2 great ideas here, some weird demonic killing entity and a horrific storm of the goddamn century. You could easily make a mini-series about either. You could have it about the demon killing people in town whilst being locked up, or you could have it about the townsfolk surviving this terrible storm, but why put them together? I'll tell you why. It's just so they are cut off from each other. The storm is purely used as plot convenience, otherwise it is entirely pointless and is just overkill.
I think he's crazy.
So, because it's a thriller and a Stephen King film, of course the electricity runs out as Mike returns to investigate the house some more and take some pictures. Writing on the wall vanishes, his cane appears and then disappears, while back at the station, Linoge somehow possesses the cop's speech.
Hey, Pete, what do you suppose this one is? Yodeler's Perch. 3 letters.
So he's a black-eyed vampire with telekinesis, mind reading, can go out in daylight, and possess human beings.
And then he mutters something to himself, even making a noose appear.
So he's a black-eyed vampire with telekinesis, mind reading, can go out in daylight, possess human beings, and can create objects out of thin air.
He possesses him to write a suicide note and then hang himself, whilst also forcing somebody elsewhere to smash in their own face with an axe. This is actually all so creepy and well done until...
Awesome. And that was part 1. Actually, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it had a lot of great setups and it was quite eerie. Let's just see how part 2 disappoints us.
What are you looking at? Did you make him do that somehow? Did you make him write that note? Hang himself?
Nah, he saw the direction the movie was taking and he voluntarily chose to end it.
Do you have any idea what's going on here?
So he's a black-eyed vampire with telekinesis, mind reading, can go out in daylight, possess human beings, create objects out of thin air, and can manipulate computer monitors.
I wish I knew.
This is pretty much where the plot just comes to a complete halt. It's just filler at this point. People yelling down radios at each other across the storm and Mike trying to interrogate Linoge. He asks him what he wants and he just doesn't respond, and this is never explained why. If you want something, why wait? Why waste our goddamn time? The film is literally admitting this is nothing more than time padding.
I know a lot, Constable. I know, for instance, that when you were at the University of Maine and in danger of losing your scholarship over a D in chemistry during your sophomore year, you cheated on the midterm exam. Not even your wife knows that, does she?
So Linoge goes a bit too far before Jack flips and accidentally shoots Mike. Thank God for bulletproof vests. But then Linoge somehow has the bullet in his hand.
So he's a black-eyed vampire with telekinesis, mind reading, can go out in daylight, possess human beings, create objects out of thin air, manipulate computer monitors, and can extract bullets from a vest from across the room.
Oh look, we're back here now. Awesome.
Please! Hello! Stop it! Please! Hello!
Shut the fuck up! Seriously, who kept hiring this little shit?
Well, maybe these characters have something interesting to say.
Hey, Billy. Can I talk to you?
I know we've had literally one other scene before this and barely any screen time during that scene, but I thought we could maybe try to get the audience to give a shit anyway.
Well, don't you want to know why?
Not particularly, no. He was our baby and now it's dead, I guess. Really, that's all I need to know.
Alright, so you asked me one. Now, I'll ask you one. What about Jenna Freeman?
Jesus Christ, we don't care! This has had one mention! We're 2 hours in and we don't give a fuck about your abortion or your skanky little affair! You're an unfaithful bellend and you're a bitch! Move on!
I know what you would have thought if I had come to you while you're still chasing after Jenna. Little bitch just got herself pregnant so I wouldn't get away.
So now you've done a whole lot of my thinking for me too now, huh?
You obviously haven't been doing much for yourself these days.
What about the baby? The one that you murdered?
We've already been through this. They're just repeating all of the same dialogue. You cheated on me. Yeah, but what about the baby of ours you murdered? We get it. No one cares.
You're unfaithful and that's bad.
Truly some award-winning dialogue here.
I think it's more than that.
Meanwhile, Linoge waves his finger around like some kind of magician to try to make Billy kill his girlfriend.
She's right. You are a coward.
Wait, so they can resist his powers? Well then how come no one else does in the entire movie? Were they just not strong enough? Then again, he calls this guy a coward, so were they not weak enough? Tell me!
What's going on here?
I haven't a clue.
So instead, he makes her kill him. I guess she didn't care enough to resist. You figure it out. And all seriousness of this scene is completely tossed out the window when we literally see Linoge mimicking her actions.
Stop it, Linoge! Don't hear me, stop!
You know, it was a lot creepier when he just sat there, emotionless. Why is he doing this? He's proven he doesn't have to.
So despite killing her unborn baby without remorse, she freaks out about killing her boyfriend. I have no sympathy for these characters. They're horrible people. She even blamed her dead baby for him cheating on her. Screw this bitch. And this is the issue with most of the characters. Mike is the only one who really develops and becomes likable. Everyone else just sits around and talk, but they never actually build genuine personalities. It's just filler. We don't really care for any of them.
I don't think he's human.
Neither do I. I don't know what he is.
Yeah, neither do we. I can't wait to find out. But it's Stephen King, so we never will.
Where's your cane, sir? Where is it now? What is it you want?
Yeah, please tell us so this can end.
We didn't take him from Martha's, did we? He let himself be taken. Maybe he wanted to be taken.
We could kill him. Nobody would have to know.
So you're willing to take a life?
So the girl is taken and gets treated like a fucking queen.
Katrina, have a little broth. It'll warm you up.
No, to spike that with rat poison, Mrs. Kingsbury. That'll warm up all right.
Captain Bell, you shut up your ignorant mouth.
If you're treating her like she saved his damn life instead of sneaking up behind him and bashing his brains in.
They're right. Why are they doing this? If he would have killed her, they'd have him lynched and then burn the remains.
All right, everybody, out of here. This is not a sideshow.
Now listen, Mrs. Anderson.
Come on. Look, you've known her all her life.
Which means it's okay for her to kill people?
Yeah. So an old lady finds Lenosia's cane, which is supposed to be the source of all of his powers for some reason, in her room in a nursing home before she's found dead in her sink. Really? Was this the best he could come up with? I don't know, I expected something more creative. I mean, look at their reactions. You'd expect something better than just drowned in a sink. Then just fucking tell us! We're 2.5 hours in, just get on with it! What the fuck is wrong with you?
Where is Robbie? I want to see my Robbie. Where are you? He said he'd be here. I don't want to die without seeing him again.
So he's a black-eyed vampire with telekinesis, mind reading, can go out in daylight, possess human beings, manipulate computer monitors, create objects out of thin air, extract bullets from vests from across the room, and can take the form of the dead.
This is a mess.
Anyway, Mike's own wife suggests killing Lenoge and making it look like an accident.
Why is he so against this? I mean, I get morals, but he's killing a lot of people.
In fact, if Lenoge is so powerful that he can kill people without even lifting a finger and do all of this crap, why can't he just escape the prison? I mean, is this the same demon from The Exorcist?
You stop, or I'll shoot.
With that?
So he's a black-eyed vampire with telekinesis, mind reading, can go out in daylight, possess human beings, manipulate computer monitors, create objects out of thin air, extract bullets from vests from across the room, take the form of the dead, and can turn inanimate objects into reptiles.
Oh, don't tell me that idea hasn't gone through your mind.
Anyway, he finally busts open the jail doors 2.5 hours in. What the fuck he didn't do this sooner, I'll never know. Before his cane turns into goddamn Zool. He then turns into Hoggle from the Labyrinth for some reason before giving one last message.
Give me what I want, and I'll go away.
Then motherfucking tell us!
We have to give him what he wants. If we do that, then he'll go away.
Well, that's genius. Why don't we think of that? This guy is on it.
Where'd he go?
Out there.
Gee, thanks for that, Captain Navigation. So the storm finally ends. Oh good, that must mean it's near the end of the movie. We get a news report about the historical events that are going on, and is it just me, or does this newsreader look like he's CGI? He doesn't look real. Anyway, it turns out this was all a dream, including the townsfolk being forced to commit suicide because they failed to give in to Lenoge's wishes.
I'm sorry. We both are, aren't we, Buster?
Sorry we didn't give it to you, Mr. Lenoge.
But you never told us what it was because you're fucking mental. And yeah, everybody shared the exact same dream, so I guess he's a black-eyed vampire with telekinesis, mind reading.
You know what? I don't even care what the fuck he is anymore.
How do you know so much?
So he repeats the same bullshit without telling us what he wants before the storm worsens and the lighthouse is under attack.
There's the light, just coming around. It's still there.
What the hell was that?
Anyway, the lighthouse soon collapses.
I guess it wasn't a very light house. Yeah?
Shut up!
We see more of the killer girl, in case anybody's interested in her, and then back to Mike's son Ralphie, who gets confronted by Linoge himself.
Don't be afraid.
Don't worry, Stephen King, no one will be watching this.
And it's only now when Mike realises that Andre's name is an anagram, because this film doesn't want to be Silence of the Lambs quite enough just yet.
They met a man with an unclean spirit. That's what the gospel says. A man with demons inside him. And he lived among the tombs. And no man could bind him, not even with chains. And Jesus cast out the demons into a herd of pigs that ran into the ocean and drowned themselves. But before Jesus cast the demons out, he asked their names. And the thing inside said, "Our name is Legion."
So, he's Jesus? Or the demons Jesus cast out? Or some other bullshit I don't care about?
We may never know.
Either way, Ralphie follows the voice of Linoge to end part 2 of this Snorefest.
To be fair, for a 4.5-hour miniseries, it's not as boring as it could be. Let's see how dumb part 3 gets.
I can't take any more.
So back in the town hall, they decide to leave the kids in the care of someone who they know just murdered their boyfriend.
More brilliant parenting in a Stephen King film.
What are you saying? Ralphie's not down there? He's not with the others?
I didn't see. Cat's not...
You were supposed to be watching him.
Oops! Maybe let the killer watch them next time. More qualified.
I don't see it.
So Mike comes across another body in the snow with a sign that said, "Oh, for crying out loud, it's done! It's not scary or creepy anymore! 3 goddamn hours of this shit and I want this pain to end!"
And I don't blame you.
Anyway, Ralphie's mum finds him in a closet unharmed, but he claims that Linoge was in there with him. Even finding a note set off, for the love of God, piss off. And she even manages to find a bag full of some weird stones.
I didn't lose my marbles after all. Wendy, look, see? I didn't lose my marbles after all.
So some woman called Angie shows up. Are we supposed to recognize her from earlier? I mean, I'm pretty sure she was in the movie before this, but this is how memorable the characters are, guys and gals. I have no memory of this woman. There's so many characters, it is impossible to keep track on all of them.
Linoge?
Yes, Linoge. We have to give him what he wants.
Which is what?
What does he want? Did he tell you?
He said he'd tell us tonight. He said we're gonna have a special town meeting and he'd tell us then.
What sense does that even make?
But hey, why not completely rip off another film's dialogue as well?
And then I turned around and what had me? It wasn't a man.
How can a man do this, Loomis? Tell me.
It isn't a man.
It wore clothes like a man and had a man's face, but there was just blackness where its eyes should have been.
With this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
He told me he was bringing me back through time.
And he's also a time traveler. This just seems like Stephen King was making up the story as he went along.
He was gonna let me live so I could come back and tell everybody that we have to give him what he wants when he comes tonight.
Really? Well, he's never mentioned that before. Why didn't he just say so?
If we have something that this man Linoge wants, why doesn't he just take it?
Because that would make the film a lot fucking shorter!
Why? Why us? Maybe because he knows we can keep a secret.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. You are right. He is murdering everybody on your entire island because you can keep a secret. You hit the nail right on the fucking head!
So all the children suddenly become possessed or something, and they can see the cane, but the parents can't. Yeah, apparently we've entered its land.
More like shit land.
I didn't understand that before, but now I do.
One by one, they all touch the cane and collapse. I was going to compliment this for having a pair of balls, but no, they're just in a coma.
Then they're not dead?
Dead.
We then cut to... Why What is this anymore? You had this character with a great performance, really eerie, really ominous, a really chilling character that was actually quite scary, really intimidating. And now you've turned him into Peter Pan Pedophile Edition. I mean, he even says,
Having fun, kids?
You turned a thrilling, intriguing, scary character into a fucking joke in a Peter fucking Pan. And stop hissing, it's not scary!
I guess there's just something about you that pisses me off.
And much like before, we are now just padding out time. They sit around talking in the dark, literally biding time until Leno shows up. They talk about nothing of relevance, nothing is developed, they walk around, light candles, chat about when the storm might end. Because apparently all of this is much more important and interesting than a supernatural serial killer.
I believe that.
Anyway, Lenoge finally appears and...
Glad the old bitch is dead, aren't you? I did you a favor there, didn't I? You kept a straight face, but inside you were dancing a jig. I know. I can smell it on you like musk.
That's great, but she still screamed. How did nobody hear that?
Don't do that, Constable Anderson, unless you want to watch this woman burn her face off.
No, mate, I ain't taking you seriously after that last scene.
Having fun, kids?
He even reveals that the priest molests his nieces behind closed doors.
Perhaps you don't believe me.
I believe you. The thing of it is, you see only the bad. None of the good.
Yeah, forget the fact that he rapes and molests his nieces. I mean, he also donates to charity occasionally. You just focus on the bad. Everyone makes mistakes.
By and large, Constable, the good's an illusion. Little fables folks tell themselves so they can get through their days without screaming too much.
I don't believe that.
I know. A good boy to the last. But I think you'll find yourself on the short end this time. Your town is full of adulterers, pedophiles, thieves, gluttons, murderers, bullies, scoundrels, and covetous morons. And I know every last one of them.
That dialogue is actually brilliant. So he leaves, promising to hold a meeting at 9 PM. Why do we need to wait even fucking longer? Oh, and then it's the very next scene, so... that was entirely pointless.
Like you, I don't know what we're waiting for.
You see? So Lenoge finally appears, revealing more private stories on his way past, even appearing as the dude's dead mother again, but no one else can see her but him.
So now we come to it, don't we?
Yes! Finally!
Tell us. Quit dancing around it. Tell us what you want.
Yes, this is it. 4.5 fucking hours of this build-up, and now we're gonna get this epic reveal. No, stop taking away all your scares. This looks hilarious.
That's all of them. And if I drop them there... they die here.
Seriously, dropping them out of the sky was the best they could come up with. He can pretty much do anything. But anyway, what is it you want?
What is it? Tell us.
What is it?
So, now you see me as I really am.
An old, ugly vampire dude. Okay, so he never actually reveals what the fuck he is, but at least now we're gonna finally hear his master plan.
But in terms of my own existence, time has grown short. You ask me what I want. No. I want someone to raise and teach. Someone to whom I can pass on all that I've learned and all that I know. Someone who will carry on my work when I can no longer do it myself. I want a child.
What? 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 Are you fucking high? We waited 4 motherfucking hours, and the best they can come up with is he wants a child to continue his work? Which, by the way, he never actually explains what his work is. What? Killing people? What?
Shut up.
Where to inspire Saw, by the way, by, you know, the whole passing on your work thing, but this makes no sense, and there's a bigger letdown than the time I met Corey Feldman and he was a complete jackass!
Never!
Hey, get in!
Let go of me!
For God's sake, stop him!
Grab him unless you wish me to drop the children, and I will, I promise you I will.
Well, no you won't, because you need them.
Molly?
I don't think we have a choice, Mike. We have to listen.
Are you kidding me? She's considering giving up her fucking child? What is wrong with you?
Give me what I want, and I'll go away. Refuse me, and the dreams you shared last night will come true. The children will fall from the sky, and the rest of you will walk into the ocean 2 by 2. And when this storm ends, they will find this island as they found Roanoke Island. Empty. Deserted.
So they have half an hour to decide. They can either risk a psychotic murderous demon having one of their children, or basically the entire town dies. Well, as a parent myself, I think it's pretty obvious what the right choice is.
I don't see what choice we have. If we believe he can do what he says he can do.
What?
So I understand, as well as any of you, better than some maybe, the reality of what he's threatening. But folks, we don't give our kids away to thugs.
Thank you!
We don't give away our children. So what's the choice then?
Sacrifice yourself for your goddamn kids, you morons! How about that? And I am not joking. Every single person, everyone except Mike, everyone, Mike's wife, Mike's friends, even the goddamn priest, whilst quoting the Bible, all of them but Mike say that they should risk their own goddamn children. I mean, this is such an obvious choice and—
I'll tell you what I think. I'll tell you what I think perfectly. Screw the bastard kid.
You either get me those banknotes or you're fired. Yes, as both my lover and my employee. Yeah, well, same to you, buddy.
Hold it right there. What are you thinking? You just can't let all of these people die because you don't want one person to be sacrificed?
My life with my son is miserable. I'd rather that he'd be better off with a demon or something. Because, well, he'd seriously have a better life than I do. I mean, look at all this. Look at all this junk.
No! Don't do anything. Just don't hurt the children.
You gotta let these people live, Rob. This is probably the impact of you watching bad movies like Batman Forever.
Guys! Listen, I say let the demon take the kid.
Sacrifice the most annoying one of them.
All of this would go great on a regular resume or a college resume. Because their abilities or talents, aren't they? And then you'd have to mark other on the what is your nationality question, because other is technically demon, right?
Why are you asking me these dumb choices? Why don't you give me these dumb questions? That's almost as stupid as saying, oh, Indiana Jones is not that cool. He has a whip. He's not that badass. Indiana Jones is the most badass character you're ever going to meet. And that is Venom.
Half human, half demon. Maybe he could turn out like that. Devilish powers are awesome.
Imagine if you're one of those other parents. Your kid dies, you already feel shitty enough, but then you die, I mean you're dead, but still, it's a pretty fucked up situation.
My husband and I have not had a very happy marriage since he was born, so yeah, we kind of need him to go away.
Even if he wasn't claiming immortal, kill the bastard. I'd kill myself if I could. Bam, bam. I kill this kid. I kill that kid. I kill all them kids.
I mean, you're fucked either way, no matter what decision you make.
Alright, shut up! I would never give my child to this demon thing!
So you'd rather they all die?
Yes!
But he would be immortal!
Yeah, with a demon! He'd be immortal with a demon, killing people! At least then we'd die together. I'd be protecting him. I know he's gonna die anyway, but at least we'd die together, not with this demon thing. These are horrible people!
Wouldn't it be, like, really boring being immortal? I mean, you'd live on, you'd make friends, they'd all die, any girlfriends you have during your life will die, any children that you have will die, then you'll live on to the end of the human race, you'll be all alone, you'll have no friends, and You'll just be bored because you'll have outlived all technology, all everything. Kind of sad if you ask me.
You speak as though he were going to kill the child, Michael. As though it were some kind of human sacrifice. It sounds more like an adoption to me.
That's the most offensively stupid thing I've ever fucking heard.
Suppose we live and they die. How are we gonna look at each other? How are we gonna live with each other then?
You mean knowing that we refuse to give our child up to a demon? Pretty easily.
Hell, one woman even offers to voluntarily put up her child specifically. What is wrong with these assholes?
Alright, fine. But you understand this. My son is not a part of this. Alright? Do you understand that? My son is not a part of this obscenity.
Yes, he is.
Who would do this? Who would give up their child to a fucking evil killer demon? What is wrong with these people? Oh, hey, Michael. I heard about you at the adoption agency. I just really heard some great recommendations. I'm just going to pass you him. Hold on. He's yours now. Love you.
So Mike, the only person on this island with a fucking soul, tries to take his son but gets outnumbered and outvoted. The thing is, the parents don't even seem like they're reluctant to do this. They seem fine with it and they do it with ease. They don't seem conflicted with this decision one bit. They're worse than the goddamn demon.
Correct.
So Lenoge comes forward and has each of the parents draw stones. Whoever gets the black one has their child taken. Thanks for that. I'm sure your wife totally forgot how to grab a stone for a second. I'm glad she's got you there. Admittedly, there is some tension built well here as they individually reveal the stones, but there's not much because you just know the child that's gonna go is...
Of course.
No. This can't be. You can't have my son.
Oh, now you have a conscience! So Lenoge turns back into the demon old hobbit and takes Ralphie away. I have all the sympathy in the world for Mike, but none for his douchebag wife. Fuck her!
You tricked us!
How? How was he cryptic when he said, I'm going to take your child? In what way did he mislead you?
This is damnation.
So we skip to the summer a few months later where Mike's wife is going through therapy.
And Mike blames you for that loss. I think he's going to leave me.
But he didn't already?
But it's not just her who feels lousy about the whole thing.
Would it do you any good to tell you that I haven't had a good night's sleep since February? Would it do you any good to tell you that maybe we might have been wrong?
No!
I've tried till I can't try anymore.
Sounds like Stephen King towards the end of his stories.
But you've got your daughter at least. You may not sleep so well. But you can go into Pippa's bedroom and watch her sleep. Any night you want.
So after some great and emotional dialogue from Mike, he decides to leave the island behind.
Molly, why does your husband hate you so?
Because I gave up our son quicker than a $5 bill. I've no idea why he's holding such a grudge for though. What a baby, he needs to get over it. And he moves to San Francisco to start up a gay relationship with cinematic excrement, where we also see his best friend actually marries his ex-wife. Yeah, as if I didn't hate them enough already.
Ralphie!
Oh, well I guess that's not my son. I'll just stand here while they walk away really slowly. Yeah, just stand here waiting. Yeah. Oh shit, yeah, that's my boy, gotta get going! Oh shit, if only I had moved faster.
In daylight, I know better.
And that was Storm of the Century. How was it? Bad.
I mean, it has such good setup in part 1, but after that it goes rapidly downhill so fast. Not only do the characters make terrible decisions, but there's no development, there's forced unnecessary subplots, and there's an insane amount of padding and filler, and you don't even rant anymore about that goddamn climax. It does have amazing acting, performances and direction, but it's not enough to hold up a decent thriller for me. This could have been a great story, but it was another one that I think King just missed the ball on entirely.
Well, Stephen, it's been fun. Until next year. Man, poor Stephen King, this whole month's just been bashing him.